You're listening to CBC Online at cbchs.org.
Everybody just have a good time. Let's go. Party rock is in the house tonight. Everybody just have
3-2-1 CBC Online, visiting with very happy Coach Bob McCormack, is coming off a great run at the Meramec tournament. Coach, you guys really put your names out there. You made it to the championship game. You lost to Vianney, but along the way you beat number 1 McCluer and number 4 DeSmet. Talk about the week.
You know what? Collectively, as a team, it was a great week for CBC basketball. We did have the 8th seed and played Troy, the number 9 seed, who's a quality team as well. And then, obviously, the winner of 8-9 plays 1, and we did get McCluer. I think looking back at the start of the season, just the schedule that we've played to date to get it into Meramec really helped us in preparation for playing those highly ranked teams, those teams that early in the season were DeSmet was 1, McCluer was right up there. But collectively as a team, we did what we needed to do. In both of those games against McCluer and DeSmet, we played 4 solid quarters of basketball. The kids played as a team and really kind of fed off of each other, which really helped us in our victories.
Well, let's talk about McCluer, because here's a team that really took it to you in the Pattonville tournament. I think they won by 40 or 30, 35, 40 points. And you come back in the Meramec tournament and actually really just stymied them. Talk about that game, and what was the difference? What happened there?
Well, I think the preparation and mindset that the coaching staff put on the players really came into play. We watched a lot of film, corrected what we needed to correct, and as far as going into the game, we told them if you do 2 things, you'll give yourself a chance to win. And one of those things was we couldn't turn the ball over, and if we did turn it over, it had to be either out of bounds where we could set our defense. And the other thing that we needed to do was get back and not give them any breakaway baskets and get our bodies between the ball and the basket, and we did that. And, everything else kind of took care of itself. And losing by 36 to them the first time was certainly disheartening. Beating them at Meramec as the number 1 seed really kind of made our holiday.
And now you come back and then you play DeSmet, who again was the highest ranked team that was left in that tournament. And, really you played tight game, but you guys were able to pull that thing out. Talk about the DeSmet game.
Well, we kind of took their big men out of their comfort zone. They run a lot of high screens with Jimmy Barton, their guard, and a lot of pick and pops, a lot of pick and rolls, and we knew how we wanted to play it. We executed it in preparation, in practice, and told them exactly what they needed to do to kind of stymie them, and really took them. It really dictated the tempo of the game on both ends of the floor, and got stops defensively and really kind of negated their size, which is really what we wanted to do.
So, Coach, take us inside those box scores. Of course, we saw the point totals. We know Jordan Barnett scored a lot of points. McCaw, you got some quality minutes from a lot of players. But what are some things that really aren't evident in the box scores that you see as a coach that you took away from that last week?
Well, Patrick and Jordan Barnett were our top scorers, but the things that impressed me also were the play of guys like Jared Barnes and Arion Maxey Penton. Those guys are really, they set the tone defensively, and we've always at CBC been one of really needing good guard play. And for 4 straight solid games in that tournament, our guard play was about as good as it gets. So kudos to those 2 guys. We had great play off the bench from Darian Bass, and Tyrus Lockhart came in and played hard. And guys, Zach Fisher came in and hit some big shots for us. Those types of things that don't show up in the box score gain us a lot of momentum. We all know that playing good, hard-nosed defense, allowing only 1 shot, getting to the line when we can, and being able to set our defense, which is a big key to what we do, is certainly things that don't show up in the box score, but we're just monumental in those 3 out of 4 wins at Meramec.
Now, looking forward, tonight you have Chaminade, then you got DeSmet here on Friday, and then, of course, the DC World Cup tournament coming up next week. Talk about this upcoming stretch of games. It's going to be, big test for you guys.
Yeah, it is. We've got Chaminade and DeSmet this week, two conference games, and then the World Cup tournament's always good simply because Lutheran North, who's undefeated right now, and Whitfield, who's a good basketball team, are in that tournament, as well as Ladue and Clayton and some other good teams. So, needless to say, our schedule doesn't get any easier. It never does, but that's the way the players want it. That's the way we want it. That's the only way you can get better for late March and make a run at this thing. I also want to say that our seniors, guys like Robert Hamilton and D. Bass and Jared Barnes, and those guys have really done a tremendous job taking on the leadership role and showing these younger guys what varsity basketball is all about, and that's a tribute to those guys.
And finally, as we talk about the DC World Cup tournament, certainly Coach Wolcott, longtime fixture here at CBC, he was your coach. Talk about his influence on you, and how happy you are to have a tournament here of his name.
Well, I've always said that every once in a while in your lifetime, a guy comes along like Coach Wolcott. And I was fortunate enough to play for him for 4 years, as were many people here in his 43-year tenure here. But just the things that he was teaching, even when he wasn't teaching, just by his manners and the way that he was. And not only was he a great coach and a great teacher, he's just a genuine person that everybody can learn from. And when we got the opportunity to name this tournament after him, we jumped on it, and I don't think this thing's ever going to go away. So I just want to thank Coach Wolcott for all of his help, and he really means a lot to CBC basketball.
I know throughout the past few weeks we've talked a lot about the players, but how about yourself? Give yourself a grade. How do you feel you and the coaching staff has done early in the season? You had some big wins. You had a couple, losses that were kind of tough for you guys. But what about you guys? What are you guys doing as a group? I know you got a bunch of new coaches this year. How are you guys gelling? What kind of grade do you give yourself?
Yeah, you know what? Chris O'Connell's really been great. We have a new technology called Huddle that really breaks down a lot of film. He's been great at that. And Jeff McCaw is kind of a silent leader on the bench that really is kind of a technician with the players and really does a great job of getting them prepared to play. Does a great job of telling the strengths and weaknesses of not only our players but also our opponents. So they've both been head coaches. Very, very blessed. Very rarely do you have players or coaches of that caliber sitting next to you on a varsity bench. So I'm very fortunate. We prepare the same for every game, and our adage is we're going to tell you what they do, but we also instill in our players that they have to worry about what we do as well. And right now we're doing some things pretty well.
Again, Coach Bobby McCormack, we will catch up with you next week. Good luck.
CBC, Men for Tomorrow, Brothers for Life.